watch a Seth KENSHI video. I don't know. I feel like, you know what I feel like? I feel like this the Seth guy makes games seem 100 times more fun than they actually are when you play them. Now, I haven't played Space Station. I haven't played Dwarf Fortress. But I have played KENSHI, so now I can be the judge myself. Honestly, I haven't played KENSHI. I played 10 minutes before rage quitting because it's not my kind of game.
Hey people, Seth here. Today, I'll be covering an educational game about the harsh realities of post-apocalyptic society. A game where you can be anything you want to be, do anything you want to do, as long as all the things you want to do are extremely illegal, morally dubious, and outright sadistic. A game where everything wants to either eat you, cook you, suck out your organs, or peel off your skin and use it as a rug. A game where being forced into slavery is considered a good outcome. I don't want to use the word compared to having your arms and legs eaten off by a pack of giraffes. I'm talking of course
when there's a lot to learn in the game
takes place in a world that has been plunged into
like
a
hard to learn
dark age after an unknown disaster annihilated
like
modern
there's too
society.
much to learn.
And now everyone's back to using straw hats and katanas. KENSHI is actually the canonical sequel to Battle Realms. Many theorize how feudal China ended up looking like this, but the popular opinion is that after endless droughts and famine, the lack of easily available rice and water, which are the two elements needed to form a Chinaman, led to an uncontrolled period of rapid population decline. Seeing that China was at its weakest, the Australians invaded, and the rest is history. KENSHI plays like some strange hybrid of Mountain Blade, Jagged Alliance, and Def Jam Fight for New York. After about 10 autistic years of development, it's finally here, featuring drug trafficking, human trafficking, and giant enemy crabs. KENSHI, it's got it all. To begin, you need to choose from one of 13 different starting scenarios. You can start as anything from a nameless vagabond, a trader with connections and money to spare, or even a guy who's hit rock bottom. No money, no food, and no masturbation. The character you start with can be fully customized. You can start as a human, a Shekman, a Bugman, or a Skellyman, which all have their own respective perks and penalties. Humans are of course good at everything, but you know what they're not good at? Surviving acid rain, or swimming in acid, or getting too close to one of these. Bugmen are exceptional at losing limbs and slavery. Are they good at capturing slaves? No, they're good at being slaves. Sheks are good at fighting. They're not good at reasoning, critical thinking, and having any sort of long-term planning. Skellymen are better at everything, which is why everyone's afraid of them. They're also probably responsible for destroying the world. Being perfect comes at a price. You can't heal. You need repairs instead, and good luck finding a mechanic in a desert. However, the character you start with isn't special. They've got stats and skills like everyone else. They can also permanently die like everyone else. A game of KENSHI only truly ends when all of your characters are 6 feet under. There's no real objective in KENSHI. That objective can be whatever you want it to be. Just like getting bullied in high school, the core philosophy of KENSHI is get your shit kicked in and get stronger, survive, and fight another day. Once you get into your first fight, you'll understand what I mean. KENSHI uses a limb-based physics system to determine whether attacks actually connect, and you don't die outright. Usually, your limbs suffer too much damage, forcing you to crawl on the ground or fight with a broken arm, as your broken appendages flail around helplessly. If you spill out too much blood or intestines, you'll collapse unconscious instead. You can still wake up from a trauma and bandage yourself together, or rely on the help of allies to pop your bones back in place and carry you to relative safety. However, take too much damage in a short span of time, and you might permanently lose an arm or a leg. If that happens, you can install prosthetic limbs, but having a bucket instead of a foot isn't exactly ideal, so hold on to those. But if your organs take too much damage, don't worry about prosthetics because you're already fucking dead. All that's left is to strip you down and chuck you in the furnace, because cremation is a far safer solution than letting your corpse fume up and attract the bone dogs. Remember I said combat uses physics, because understanding that is extremely important. Characters make different swings and motions with different weapons, which also change as you get more experienced. If a swing physically connects with an enemy, enemy, it counts as a hit. Not only that, if there were, let's say, 3
Oh,
enemies
really? I
standing
never
closely packed
noticed
together,
that.
they'll all get cut by the same swing. Basically, I'm telling you that if you want to die very quickly, gang up on an enemy, because that's a great idea. He'll take a single broad horizontal swing and decapitate your entire team. It's better to have characters duel each enemy or try and overwhelm them with a variety of attacks. You can even do some crazy micro and make your characters manually evade attacks while everyone else flanks them from the side. Combat is really fucking good. It's responsive and only gets more entertaining as you get the hang of it. In the beginning, you're nothing but a walking sack of rice wheat. By the end, you're still a walking sack of rice wheat, but hey, you can stage dive leviathans like a baller. But combat's only one of many things you do in Kenshi. It's a means to an end, and achieving any of your goals requires money. Money buys you food, equipment, protection, and companions. You can't get anywhere without it, but you can't get it anywhere for free. To make money, we need to explore, see beautiful and bizarre places with our own sets of risks and challenges, such as dust storms, gas clouds, flesh-eating cannibals, flesh-eating spiders, lack of water, too much water, and this. I don't recommend stepping into one of these, but they can outrun any character, so the only real way of dodging them is by getting out of the way very quickly, or by traveling at night. Luckily, they're not as dangerous once they fall out of the sky. Besides all the different places that can get you killed, there's a lot of interesting people to meet throughout the world. Hey, I think I've had enough of Kenshi for today. Actually, turns out they're completely friendly. They just need some help peeling potatoes. Unfortunately, it turned out I was the potato, and my limbs had to be peeled off. I can conclusively say this is probably the most effective weight loss plan I've ever seen in my life. There's a lot of factions out there.
So if you lose a
and
limb,
most of
can you
them
ever get
aren't
it
skin
back?
bandits, and once you meet them, you'll realize they're even worse. You can interact with them, help them, and even pledge allegiance to their cause. Or you can kidnap them and execute their leaders, forcing them to crumble and with a lack of leadership. Even better, the resulting power vacuum leads to rival factions taking over and potentially expanding across the world. Kenshi lets you do that. It even encourages you to do that. Sooner or later, your nomadic lifestyle of running from city to city will get old. Why pay for methanol poisoning when we can make our own? Why suffer the daily struggle when we can grow our own weed and process it into soft, sticky mounds of hash, which we'll smuggle into the United Cities using Amazon Prime? Here's Hobbs demonstrating our one-day Prime delivery option. He's currently sneaking past the border at a comfortable land speed of 26 miles per hour. The guards don't even see him. If they do, they'll pretend they didn't, intimidated by the man Naruto running through their gates with over 50 kilos of solid hash on his back. As you've probably figured out,
does he only play games that are like
it won't be anything special and you'll be barely scraping by to survive. But once you get some research and technology going, you'll be on your way to
like
establishing a thriving
Cancer
city,
UI
provided
kinda?
you don't get murdered, robbed, or eaten while doing so. Setting up an outpost changes
I don't know
the
what
game
I want, how I want
you
to
now
describe
have a
it,
place to live, but everyone wants to take what they can't have, and they will, unless your defenses hold up. Each region has its own set of wildlife and factions that will try and ruin your day. In my case, I set up in the desert. The soil sucked, the crops didn't grow, but at least I was only under attack every day by 4 different factions. Starving bandits kept coming to beg for food. They got a free bolt in the mouth instead. The dust bandits just wanted to kill us. At least they were honest about it. The Sheks kept asking for a good clean fight, so I walled myself off and turned them into pincushions. The Black Dragon Ninjas can go fuck themselves. We're suffering our second famine this season, and it's all because a pack of weeaboos with tin hats keep dabbing away with our bread baskets. And you know what? The raids aren't even the worst part. It was Sundays. Kenshi, where every Sunday is prayer day, and you don't want to skip out on prayer day.
Wouldn't this game be way better in
Bible.
multiplayer?
Don't worry, this one's on me. Oh, you can't make prayer day because you're in a coma from severe head trauma? I literally do not give a shit. I don't care if there's enemies bashing at your gates, you raise those shits right now, and I'm giving you to the count of 5 to come pray to our Lord and Savior, Okran. If you don't come out right now, I'm gonna burn this place to the ground and kill every blasphemous pagan who takes the name of the Lord in vain. And we're gonna do this every Sunday. Prayer day is the best goddamn day. Unlike those lazy preachers in real life, the Holy Nation priests will personally travel all the way to your base together with their faithful team of heavily armed paladins, and I don't recommend making them upset. If you can survive all of that, having an an outpost lets you really expand on your options. You can even assign people to tasks and functions using an automated job system, and essentially sit back while they generate money and get stuck on terrain. After securing a stable source of food, you naturally want more people to eat it. If that doesn't work, buy yourself a couple of animals. They'll eat through your survival rations in no time. Animals are a mixed blessing, so I've arranged them in order of usefulness. Goats, which are walking sacks of meat. Bone dogs, which are the body cleanup crews of KENSHI. Very cute. I recommend getting a pack of them just to watch them play fetch with each other. There's also garus and bulls, which are walking sacks of storage space and absolutely essential for trading and carrying all of your stolen ceramic bowls. And finally, there's crabs, which are objectively the greatest animals for both land-based and naval combat. Oh, real funny, Seth. Now, show me a squad of them. I admit, I got really uncreative with naming them after the first dozen or so. You're not even limited to a single outpost. You can build an outpost wherever you want. Just be prepared for the consequences once other people start to take notice. From there, the world is your oyster, and it's waiting to be devoured by your legions of domesticated crustaceans. Your characters don't even have to be in the same region as each other. The game keeps track of everything in real time, no matter where they are on the map. You can send squads and expeditions out into the wild, while your peasants work their lives away in your sweatshops. And you sort of have to as well. You can't unlock any of the later research trees without plundering the remains of ancient civilization, so you can finally harness the ancient secrets of eggplant hydroponics. KENSHI is a wonderful, bizarre, and at times absolutely brutal game with a completely unique setting. It's an absolute joy to play, and I've greatly enjoyed watching my life spiral out of control as I feed my newfound
How much
addiction.
time do you think you put down into this game?
Score, and my highest recommendation. I give it 250 stacks of wheat straw over the insane fucking attack range of blood spiders. Seriously, look at that shit. Luckily, you don't have to deal with it. KENSHI is extremely mod friendly, and most of the issues you have in the game can be easily fixed through modding. I've attached my mod list in the description below, and it should contain the bare essentials to improve gameplay without significantly changing anything. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a lot of potatoes to peel, but don't worry, I've got a lot of free time. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. Also, earlier this month I made a shitty website introducing SsethTzeentach's.com. It's hot garbage, but it's also got links to all my videos, especially the banned ones. Come check it out. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one.
Please check this out when you can. Looks like a decent little game.
Stop now. Hang on.
Welcome to Uganda.